Greetings, Rigil Agateiades here. Those who've been following this channel knows there's this long-running joke about how I never get on Gundams. Today, we'll break this rule and finally get on a high-tier Gundam. Well, sort of. This is the mobile suit that always sparks a debate on the definition of a Gundam, the 700 cost rate type, Sinanju Stein. The reason why its identity is so unsure is its unique position on the development tree. It is both the base of the Sinanju, the flagship mobile suit of the sleeves, and the UNICORN Gundam at the same time. Personally, I treat the Stein as a Gundam mostly because of all the Gundam looking parts and how it's designed, but whether it's a Gundam or not does not matter today, so I'll leave the debate to everyone in the comments. Instead, we'll talk about the part that really matters, how it is like in-game. Now, the Stein is a very unique mobile suit. Unlike most mobile suits which stay the same throughout a fight, the Stein changes. Like the Oberon or the Engage Zero Young Fabin, this mobile suit's performance changes drastically as the fight goes on. But not just once. The Stein changes behavior twice. On the Sinanju Stein, two skills change the way you fight as you go. They not only change the way you move, they even turn it from a ranged mobile suit to a melee one. The first skill that changes the way the Stein moves is the unique skill Active Purge. Active Purge, as it's named, actively purges the propellant tanks, but there's a bit more to that. First of all, those propellant tanks aren't there just to be purged. With the skill Flexible Thrusters, while you have those propellant tanks, the Stein gains an extra 10 thruster speed after using forced injectors, reaching a whopping 240 thruster speed. And in a bit of a convoluted way, this skill also gives the Stein extra thrusters. At the start of the game, the Stein comes with more thrusters than normal. Only after purging the propellant tanks, it consumes 20% more thrusters. So if you want to move long distances, do that before you purge those propellant tanks. But what we remember the most is the purge itself. Instead of simply dropping those propellant tanks, the Stein launches them at the enemy with flare. With a short invincibility period and roughly the same activation window as an emergency evasion, you can use it just like a normal emergency evasion that doesn't consume thrusters. But the Purge isn't just an extra evasion, it's actually an extra weapon on the Stein. Not only do the tanks do plenty of ballistic damage, but they also come with a whopping strong stagger. Press the button and suddenly you're evading the enemy's melee while throwing a strong stagger back at them, completely turning the table in a duel. Once you're done with the Active Purge, the second change to the Stein comes at reaching 50% health. With the skill Cycle Frame Resonance, the Stein gains a whopping 40 melee attack and takes 50% less melee damage, making it an extremely dangerous melee fighter. On top of that, the Stein even gets its charge attack's charge time halved, so you can charge it in time reacting to a teammate's down attack. Not like I can show that off against the Samuel on the roof though. While we got into trouble trying to take down the Samuel on a roof, the Stein is actually already one of the best mobile suits to fight that, thanks to its high range attack and truly exceptional weapons. While there's only 3 ranged weapons on the Stein, all it needed was 2 good ones. The first weapon on the Sinanju Stein is the Sinanju Bazooka. A bazooka is never a bad thing, and that's especially true on the Stein. Not only is it the only instant stagger if you don't count the Active Purge, but thanks to the ballistic nature and high 3000 base damage, it brings quite a significant punch. But all of that is overshadowed by the infamous main weapon of the Stein, the High Beam Rifle, or the simply superior one-use counterpart, the Active Purge. Lob the propellant tanks high in the air and that's the end of your Zero system. Also the end of our mobile suit though, like what on earth is that damage? Active Purge proves once again to be an exceptional weapon. But when talking about the Stein, we must talk about the main weapon, the High Beam Rifle. This beam rifle is simply phenomenal. First, the damage. Each uncharged shot comes with 1500 base damage, but thanks to the low firing interval, the damage very quickly racks up. 8 shots after 3 seconds, and it's a total of 12,000 damage. While it didn't seem like much on the Samuel just now, hit it on any other smaller support type, and that's likely half their health bar. But this beam rifle is strong not just because of the damage, its stagger potential was truly staggering. With 50% stagger every uncharged shot, 2 shots and it will stop anyone with maneuver armor level 1. 3 shots and it will stop almost anything, and all it takes is a second. This is especially effective against anyone in the game except the Samuel on the roof with damage control level 3. Full body on the Samuel did stagger it once, but with all that damage reduction and base health, it feels like we do more damage on the general type high new Gundam instead. Thanks to this incredible beam rifle that works on anything but the Samuel, the Stein is an exceptional ranged fighter. But it also means the Stein got a unique game plan. With the beam rifle, the Stein starts off by taking on anyone as long as it got the right hand shot advantage. Keep gabbing from behind cover and there's nothing the enemy can do. But once you drop below half health, suddenly the Stein goes in for the melees. With all the extra melee attack and most importantly half the melee damage taken, the Stein is truly formidable at melee range. That was the Sinanju Stein, although the Samuel on the roof seemed to have taken quite the spotlight. With arguably the best beam rifle in the game, the Stein can take on anyone, including general types. All you need is the right hand shot advantage, which you can almost always get thanks to the exceptional long range mobility before using active Purge. But once it drops below half health, the Stein turns from a ranged fighter to an extremely tough melee mobile suit. Gaining 40 melee attack and halved incoming melee damage is such a significant advantage. Only problem is that it doesn't work on the Samuel on the roof. You're better off staying at range in that case. That's it for me today. Sorry for turning this video into a video on the Samuel and the latest.